So, you think vegan cooking is hard? Think again. Remember that time you tried making vegan pasta, and it turned into flavorless, soggy sadness? Or that tofu scramble that looked more like, well, scrambled disappointment? Maybe your veggies always end up a bit limp and uninspired, or your grand vegan baking experiment deflated faster than your hopes for a tasty meal. We've all been there, staring at a plate that's more meh than magnificent, wondering where we went wrong, and if delicious vegan food is just a myth for everyone else but us. Yeah, we've all been there. Those kitchen fails, they're practically a rite of passage. But here's the secret. Vegan cooking doesn't have to feel like rocket science, and it definitely doesn't require a culinary degree or a pantry full of obscure, expensive ingredients. I'm Kim's husband, and today I'm pulling back the curtain and giving you the ultimate cheat code, your friendly beginner's guide, to creating absolutely delicious plant-based meals. We're talking no stress, no mess, well, maybe a little fun mess, and absolutely no mush. Get ready to transform your vegan cooking game from frustrating to fantastic. Alright, let's dive right into the nitty-gritty, the stuff that often trips us up when we first venture into the wonderful world of vegan cooking. One of the biggest hurdles I see, and one I definitely stumbled over myself countless times, is texture trouble. You're aiming for that satisfying bite, that perfect chew, or that delightful crispiness, but instead you end up with something that's, shall we say, texturally challenged. Mushy is a common culprit, especially with things like veggie burgers that fall apart, or overcooked vegetables that lose all their personality. The opposite can also be true, dishes that are too dry, too tough, or just plain uninviting. The key here is understanding how different plant-based ingredients behave. Vegetables, for instance, have varying water content and cooking times. Overcrowding your pan when roasting or stir-frying is a classic mistake that leads to steaming instead of searing, resulting in that dreaded sogginess. Give your veggies space, let them breathe, and they'll thank you with beautiful caramelization and a much more appealing texture. Then there's the infamous flavorless food fiasco. You've assembled all these beautiful, healthy plant-based ingredients, but the end result tastes like nothing much at all. This often boils down to under-seasoning or not understanding how to build layers of flavor. Salt is your friend, people. And I don't just mean a tiny pinch. Season at different stages of cooking, taste as you go, and don't be afraid to be a little bold. Another part of the flavor puzzle is missing out on umami, that magical fifth taste that brings depth and savoriness to dishes. Meat is naturally rich in umami, so when you remove it, you need to consciously add it back in using plant-based sources. Things like mushrooms, especially shiitake or porcini, tomatoes, sun-dried are amazing, soy sauce or tamari, nutritional yeast, and even seaweed can be umami powerhouses. Learning to incorporate these ingredients will elevate your vegan cooking from basic to wow, what is in this? For many, especially those transitioning to a vegan diet or cooking for omnivores, achieving that satisfying heartiness, that chewiness, or that substantial feeling that meat often provides in a meal is crucial. This is where ingredients like tofu, tempeh, seitan, lentils, beans, and even hearty vegetables like mushrooms or eggplant can really step up to the plate. The hack for texture trouble with things like tofu is pressing it. Seriously, get that water out. A good press makes tofu a sponge for marinades and helps it get wonderfully crispy. For veggies, as I said, don't overcrowd the pan, and consider techniques like roasting at high heat or quick stir-frying to maintain their integrity. For flavor, build it up. Sauté your aromatics, onions, garlic, ginger properly, bloom your spices in oil to release their full potential, and don't underestimate the power of fresh herbs added at the end, or a squeeze of lemon or lime juice to brighten everything up. To tackle that missing meat factor, think about how you prepare your plant-based proteins. Marinating tofu or tempeh can infuse them with incredible flavor and help with texture. Try different cooking methods: bake, fry, grill, crumble. For example, crumbled and seasoned tempeh can make a fantastic ground meat substitute in bolognese or tacos. Hearty mushrooms like portobellos can be grilled like steaks. It's about being creative and understanding the strengths of each ingredient. Okay, now that we've tackled some common pitfalls, let's talk about stocking your pantry for success. You don't need a million fancy ingredients to make amazing vegan food, I promise. It's all about having a few key players on your team, your culinary superheroes that can transform simple ingredients into something spectacular. Think of this as your starter kit for vegan deliciousness. These are the items I reach for again and again, the workhorses of my plant-based kitchen, and they'll soon become yours too. First up, let's talk about nutritional yeast, or nooch, as it's affectionately known in the vegan community. If you haven't met nooch yet, prepare to fall in love. These golden flakes are a deactivated yeast, and they have this incredible cheesy, nutty, savory flavor that is just a game changer. It's fantastic in sauces, sprinkled over popcorn or pasta, mixed into tofu scrambles to give them an eggy, cheesy vibe, or even used to make vegan mac and cheese. Beyond its amazing taste, nutritional yeast is often fortified with B vitamins, including B12, which is super important for those on a vegan diet. Next on the essential list is soy sauce, or its gluten-free cousin, tamari. These are umami bombs in a bottle. They provide saltiness, depth, and that rich, savory flavor we talked about earlier. Indispensable for stir-fries, marinades, dressings, and even for deglazing pans to get all those tasty browned bits. Then we have our good friend tofu. Oh, tofu, you versatile block of wonder. I know some people are a bit intimidated by tofu, or they've had a bad experience with it being bland or rubbery, but here's the thing. Tofu is like a blank canvas. It doesn't have a strong flavor on its own, which means it's brilliant at soaking up whatever flavors you throw at it. Marinades, spices, sauces, tofu welcomes them all with open arms, and the texture, that's all in the preparation. Press it well to remove excess water, and then you can bake it, fry it, scramble it, blend it into creamy sauces or desserts. The possibilities are endless. Now let's talk spices, because a well-stocked spice rack is like a painter's palette for a chef. You don't need every spice under the sun, but a few key players can make a world of difference. Smoked paprika is one of my absolute favorites. It adds a smoky, bacony flavor that's incredible in chilies, on roasted vegetables, or in BBQ sauces. Cumin is another essential, bringing earthy warmth to Mexican, Indian, and Middle Eastern dishes. Turmeric, with its vibrant color and earthy, slightly bitter taste, is a staple in curries, and also boasts anti-inflammatory properties. Alright, your pantry is stocked, you know what mistakes to avoid, so now it's time for the really fun part, actually cooking. And we're gonna start super simple, because the best way to build confidence in the kitchen is with quick wins. These are a few of my go-to beginner recipes that are packed with flavor, require minimal effort, and are pretty hard to mess up. Think of these as your foundational recipes, the ones you can whip up on a busy weeknight or when you're just starting to find your vegan cooking groove. First up, the glorious 5-minute wonder stir-fry. Okay, maybe it takes longer than 5 minutes if you include chopping, but the cooking part is lightning fast. The beauty of a stir-fry is its versatility. You can use pretty much any veggies you have on hand. Broccoli, bell peppers, carrots, snap peas, mushrooms, bok choy, you name it. The hack here is to prep all your ingredients you start cooking. Chop your veggies into bite-sized pieces, mix up your sauce, and have everything ready to go by the stove. This is called mise en place, and it's a game changer for stir-fries. For the stir-fry sauce, keep it simple. A base of soy sauce or tamari, a little maple syrup or agave for sweetness, a splash of rice vinegar for tang, a touch of sesame oil for that lovely nutty aroma, and maybe some minced garlic and ginger. Whisk it all together. For protein, pre-cooked or quick cooking options are your friend cubed firm tofu, pressed of course, edamame, or even canned chickpeas. Heat your wok or large skillet until it's super hot. Add a little oil, then your firmest veggies first, followed by softer ones, then your protein, and finally the sauce. Toss, 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 and serve over rice or noodles. Delicious, fast, and healthy. Next, let's talk about a big hug in a bowl, comfort soup. There's nothing quite like a warm, hearty soup, especially when you're feeling a bit under the weather or just need some simple nourishment. My go-to easy soup involves a base of vegetable broth, some canned diced tomatoes, a can of lentils or cannellini beans rinsed and drained, and whatever veggies I have lingering in the fridge. Carrots, celery, onions are classics, but potatoes, zucchini, or spinach work great too. The hack here is to build flavor layers. Start by sautéing your aromatics, onion, garlic, carrots, and celery, in a little olive oil until softened. This creates a beautiful flavor base. Then, add your spices. A bay leaf, some dried thyme or oregano, and a pinch of red pepper flakes for a little warmth can do wonders. Add your broth, tomatoes, beans, lentils, and any other chopped veggies. Bring it to a simmer and let it bubble away for at least 20 to 30 minutes, or until the vegetables are tender and the flavors have melded. Taste and adjust seasoning, a little salt, pepper, or even a squeeze of lemon juice at the end can really make it sing. And because life is all about balance, we need a super simple, 3-ingredient dessert. Sometimes you just need a little something sweet without a fuss, right? My absolute favorite for this is chocolate avocado mousse. Yes, avocado, don't knock it till you try it. The three magic ingredients are ripe avocados, cocoa powder, and a liquid sweetener like maple syrup or agave nectar. You can add a splash of plant milk if needed for consistency, and a pinch of salt to enhance the chocolate flavor, but the core is just those three. So, you've learned to dodge the common mistakes, your pantry is looking pretty sharp, and you've even got a few simple, delicious recipes under your belt. That's fantastic. But how do you keep the momentum going? How do you make vegan cooking a joyful, sustainable part of your life rather than a fleeting phase? It's all about cultivating the right mindset and a few good habits. This isn't just about following recipes, it's about becoming an intuitive and adventurous vegan cook. My number one tip for long-term success is to embrace experimentation. Don't be afraid to go off-piste from a recipe, to try new ingredients, or to combine flavors in ways you haven't before. Think of recipes as guidelines, not strict rules set in stone. Maybe a recipe calls for basil, but you only have cilantro. Try it. Perhaps you want to add a pinch of smoked paprika to that soup for a different twist. Go for it. The more you experiment, the more you'll understand how different flavors and ingredients work together, and the more confident you'll become in creating your own dishes. This leads directly to my next point. Learn from your mistakes because trust me, there will be more. Not every experiment will be a resounding success. Sometimes you'll create something truly unique and not always in a good way. I've had dishes that were too salty, too bland, too spicy, or just plain weird. Instead of getting disheartened, try to analyze what went wrong. Was the oven too hot? Did I add too much of a certain spice? Was that ingredient combination just not meant to be? Every oops is a lesson learned, making you a smarter, more experienced cook. Another crucial aspect is to keep learning. The world of vegan food is constantly evolving. There are always new products, new techniques, and new recipes emerging. Follow vegan food bloggers, watch YouTube channels, like this one, wink wink. Buy a couple of good vegan cookbooks that inspire you, or even take a vegan cooking class if there's one nearby. The more you expose yourself to new ideas, the more inspired you'll be to try new things in your own kitchen. It keeps things fresh and exciting, preventing you from falling into a cooking rut. Don't underestimate the power of planning, especially when you're starting out or if you have a busy schedule. This doesn't mean you have to meticulously plan every meal for the next month, but having a rough idea of what you want to cook for the week can save you a lot of stress and prevent those last-minute what's for dinner panics that often lead to less healthy choices or takeout. Maybe pick out 3 or 4 recipes you want to try, make a shopping list, and do a bit of prep work on the weekend, like chopping vegetables or cooking a batch of grains. Find your why. Why did you decide to explore vegan cooking? Is it for your health, for the animals, for the environment, or a combination of reasons? Connecting with your motivation can be a powerful driving force, especially on days when you're feeling less than enthusiastic about cooking. Reminding yourself of the benefits and the positive impact you're making can reignite your passion and keep you committed to your culinary journey. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From sidestepping those common vegan cooking blunders that can make you want to throw in the towel, to building a powerhouse vegan pantry that sets you up for culinary triumphs. We've even walked through some super simple yet incredibly tasty recipes that prove vegan food can be both easy and exciting. My hope is that you're feeling a lot more confident and inspired to get into your kitchen and start creating some plant-based magic. Remember, the journey into vegan cooking is exactly that, a journey. It's not a race to perfection, and there's no final exam. It's about exploration, discovery, and finding what works for you, your taste buds, and your lifestyle. The tips we discussed for long-term success, like embracing experimentation and learning from every attempt, yes, even the slightly singed ones, are all about making this a sustainable and enjoyable part of your life. Think of each meal as an opportunity to learn something new. The key takeaway, if there's one thing I really want you to remember from our chat today, is that delicious vegan cooking is absolutely within your reach. It doesn't require you to be a gourmet chef or to spend hours slaving away over complicated recipes. It's about understanding a few basic principles, arming yourself with some versatile ingredients, and most importantly, having fun with it. The more you cook, the more intuitive it will become. Think back to that chaotic kitchen flashback we started with, the soggy pasta, the flavorless attempts. Now, picture yourself confidently whipping up that 5-minute stir-fry or serving a bowl of rich, comforting soup that you made from scratch. That transformation is entirely possible, and it starts with just taking that first step, trying that first recipe, and believing in your ability to create something wonderful. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and I know you have the potential. Don't let the fear of making mistakes hold you back. Mistakes are just stepping stones. I've made more mistakes in the kitchen than I can count. And honestly, some of my best recipe discoveries have come from happy accidents or trying to salvage something that went a bit sideways. So embrace the chaos, laugh at the mishaps, and keep on cooking. Each attempt, successful or not, adds to your experience and your skill. The beauty of vegan cooking lies in its incredible diversity. There's a whole universe of flavors, textures, and ingredients to explore, from every corner of the globe. Once you master the basics, you can start venturing into different cuisines, trying new techniques, and really personalizing your meals. It's a culinary adventure that never really ends, and that's what makes it so exciting. So there you have it, your beginner's crash course in making vegan cooking not just doable, but downright delicious and fun. Remember, vegan cooking isn't about perfection, it's about joy and flavor. It's about the vibrant colors on your plate, the amazing textures, and the satisfaction of creating something wonderful from plants. Start simple. You don't need to tackle a 5-course gourmet meal on day 1. Play with your food. 6.